Wow. What an incredible season finale for The Walking Dead. Probably one of the best episodes that you could ever have asked for. The Walking Dead really did this one very well. Finally, we have seen something we've been waiting for a while. A lot of great scenes, a lot of sad scenes, but that was amazing. Hey, everybody. Derek here, and I'm here to bring you another video for my channel, and this one is going to be me reviewing the season finale called The First Day of the Rest of Your Life. If you are not caught up with The Walking Dead, if you did not watch the episode, exit now, because this video is going to contain major spoilers about what happened, and it's really going to be very, very revealing. So if you don't want to know what happened in the season finale, exit now, or you will be spoiled. Okay, so overall, the thing about this episode that really made it worthwhile was we have finally seen Rick's group fight back. The fight has started. People finally had enough of Negan's, crap that he was doing. They finally decided to fight. It was pretty hectic getting to that point. Many times we thought that hope was lost throughout the season and in this episode, but we finally saw the communities rallying together and fighting, and we know by now at the end of that episode, it's war, and season 8 is probably going to be so action-packed, so incredible, and I can't wait to see what they do in the 100th episode. Now, a lot of major things happened in this episode, but I'm going to try to get as much as I can into this video to talk about some of the main elements, and I'll probably be making some more videos as the week goes by, kind of following up. But when we started this episode, we knew from the last episode that Rick and Negan both had goals. Rick was hoping to start a fight with Negan to finally fight back. Negan was hoping to stop this battle because he knew that things were going on. We didn't know how he knew, but he did know. So that was his goal, to end this rebellion that Rick was starting. And we, of course, saw that Dwight was with Rick's group, willing to help. We kind of saw that, Rick ended up deciding to trust Dwight. They realized that they're desperate. They realized that they need to do something or else all hope is lost. But Daryl and Tara in particular were not fans of this. It took a lot of strength for Daryl not to kill Dwight, and Tara tried to insist, like, no, Daryl, kill Dwight, do it. But he ended up not doing it. But Daryl does make a promise in this episode to Rick that when all said and done, he does intend to kill Dwight. Whether he's going to follow through with that or not, we can only imagine. But we did see that Dwight proposed the plan. He said, I'm going to cut down trees in the forest. I'm going to stop the saviors from coming. That gives you guys enough time to make a plan. And eventually, I'm going to try to get the workers to come to our side. I'll come back, and we can go from outpost to outpost and finally take Negan down. So whether that'll happen next season or not is hard to say, but Dwight did follow through with that. He did cut down trees. The trees were in the roadway, but the saviors were able to get past them because they have a lot of supplies, so they just cut the trees out of the way. Now, Negan, going into this situation with Alexandria, he was hoping to use Sasha, number one, to gain her trust, but number two, to also use her against Rick's group. And what he did was he told Sasha, you're going to be a hostage. I'm going to put you in a coffin, and I'm going to try to see if Rick's group will give in if they know that you're in danger. And Sasha agrees to this, but also tries to see if she can minimize what happens to Rick's group, because Negan says, I'm going to kill 3. I'm going to line them up. I'm going to kill 3 because I got to teach them. Like, people have to die in order for me to teach them a lesson. Sasha tries to not have any of that happen. So she's actually able to convince Negan to narrow it down to just 1. And Negan ends up agreeing to that, but we see that Sasha, in a sense, was really fighting for Rick's group, and I think that all along she knew that everything that she was doing, the hope was that it would make a difference in the end, whenever they would get to Alexandria, because we know in the last episode she had those suicide pills. She gets inside that coffin, and as they're on their way to Alexandria, she does end up taking the suicide pills. And during this time, she has like visions, flashbacks, a lot of memories with Abraham and Maggie, really reflecting on her life, things that she's done. Can she really do this? Does it mean anything? Because she kind of mentioned in a previous episode that Abraham dying the way he did, that really it took the fight away from him. That if anybody wants to die in this world, they want it to be for a reason, or they want to make sure it's going out fighting. So I think that ultimately Sasha did achieve that. She went out fighting, and she gave others an opportunity to fight as well. That really her sacrifice was great enough that the groups were able to fight. And what ends up happening is initially Eugene goes to the wall and he tries to talk Alexandria into surrendering, that they're coming, that things are going to be serious, that they should surrender. But Rick's group says no, they're not surrendering. And what they did was the Scavengers, Jadis's group, came in. They were all lined up along the wall. So you have the Scavengers in Alexandria ready to take on the Saviors when they get there. They had planted explosives that they had gotten. And whenever Eugene comes and proposes this, Rick, realizing that they need to make a move, he gives the signal to Rosita to blow up the explosives, even though Eugene is in danger, which I thought was very shocking. But on the other hand, this is war, and you know what? You don't really have a lot of time to be patient with people when it comes to Negan and everything that he's doing. So, sucks to be Eugene, but the group was willing to sacrifice him if it meant winning, just because of the way that he was being. But the explosives don't go off. So Eugene is saved. None of the Saviors are killed. And they're wondering, what the heck happened? What's going on? Why didn't the bombs explode? Well, as we predicted last week, I thought that Jadis was the one that ratted the group out to Negan, and it was true. The Scavengers ended up sabotaging Rick's group, and they prevented the explosives from going off, and they end up taking Rick's group hostage when Negan arrives at the wall. And Negan gets up there and he's like, dude, I can't believe you were willing to blow up Eugene. You guys are animals. You think I'm bad? You guys are worse. And he gives Rick an ultimatum. He basically says, look, time to teach you. Obviously, you're not understanding this. Here's what I want. I want you to get every single gun that you have. I want you to bring me Daryl. I want you to bring me somebody that, you want killed, because I'm going to kill somebody with Lucille. I want that pool table. I want every drop of lemonade. He wants stuff from Rick. And if Rick doesn't give in, Sasha will die. And Rick ends up saying, well, show me. Show me that Sasha is really there. So Negan opens up the coffin, and out comes Sasha as a walker. So Sasha ends up attacking Negan, and this is enough of a distraction where the Alexandrians and some other people are able to get their guns back, and they're able to kill some of the Scavengers. So there's a little bit of a battle that takes place between the Scavengers, the Saviors, and Rick's group. It's just for a little bit of time, though, because obviously these people are outnumbered. So eventually, during this battle, Rosita gets shot. She, it's somewhat serious, but she is still alive at the end of the episode, and I don't think that gunshot will kill her. And Jadis took Rick hostage. The whole time, Jadis had her gun against Rick. And what ends up happening is she shoots Rick and kicks him over the wall, and then she ends up dragging him through the battlefield to where Negan is at. And everybody has been taken hostage. A couple of people from Alexandria died. Nobody that we actually knew, just background people. Same thing with the Saviors. No prominent Savior really died at this point either. And they end up lining up Carl and Rick, and Negan says, hey, hello again. I thought that we could work something out. Obviously, we can't. And Negan was prepared at this point to kill Carl, to basically state, hey, listen, obviously this is the only way I'm going to teach you. I'm going to kill Carl, to really make you understand Rick. But Rick doesn't back down, and I loved this about this episode. We see that Rick is done playing Negan's games. He's done being scared. He realizes and truly believes this is not a way to live. He'd rather see his son, himself, and everybody else die fighting rather than give in to Negan. And I think it makes sense, even though it is a little risky, but he ends up making the same promise that he made in the season premiere. Because we saw in the season premiere, Rick said, I'm going to kill you, Negan. Not today, not tomorrow, but someday I will. He repeats that promise again. Negan just shrugs it off, and he gets ready to go kill Carl when who shows up? Shiva, the tiger. I mean, absolutely amazing to see the tiger run in, take on one of the saviors, just starts ripping the savior to shred, and we see the kingdom and we see the hilltop join the fight. Now, also to note earlier in the episode that Ezekiel tried to get Morgan to go with him to the fight, because Morgan actually put the shopping carts out on the road to stop the saviors, but what they wanted to do was tell him, look, there's a bigger purpose. Join us. Don't do this on your own, because you know what? It's going to take away the surprise, and it's just going to get you killed. You're not stuck, Morgan. Just come on and do this. Morgan ends up going along. So Morgan was in the fight. You had Ezekiel and Carol, all the Kingdom soldiers. You had the Hilltop show up with Maggie. Earlier in the episode, Maggie had debated whether she would go and help Rick's group at that point, because she wanted to fight, but she just didn't know if tactically if that was the right decision, because if they were to go into an ambush, that would only be bad for them, and then Rick's group wouldn't have another option. But they ended up going. There's a big battle. A bunch of saviors get killed in this battle, and some of the scavengers as well. But nobody else major died in the episode other than Sasha. Everybody else that died was really just a background character. I don't even think there were any that had names from the saviors or anybody else before. But people that you generally know, they all survived. And it's important to note that a callback to the comic books, Michonne was up in like a house prepared to shoot somebody with a sniper rifle, and she had a fight with one of the scavenger people up there, kind of like how Andrea fought with one of the saviors in the comic books at this time. And somebody goes over the ledge, and we have no idea whether it was Michonne or this scavenger, but after the battle is over, it is revealed that Michonne did survive. She's very, very heavily beaten up, though, sadly, sustained a lot of injuries, and at the end of the episode, her and Rosita are both in beds recovering. Rick somehow, I don't know if his wound was just a flesh wound or what the deal was. Like, he got shot through the side, and he treated it like it was nothing throughout the episode, so I'm assuming it was just a minor wound. But by the end of the episode, you have the saviors and the scavengers have retreated. Negan's still alive. Simon, Jadis, Tamil, the major people, though, have gotten away. As well as on the other side, other than Sasha, everybody else lived in Alexandria, the Kingdom, and the Hilltop as well. So they did end up living. But really, this was the start of the war. And in the closing parts of the episode, you had a couple of things happening. Number one, Daryl tried to go after people, but in the end, they had escaped. Like, everybody had escaped, and there was no point. He looks inside the gate, and he sees a wooden figure that was carved. We know that Dwight does this. It's his hobby. And written on it was, didn't know. Now, what he meant by that, whether it is, I didn't know they were doing this to Sasha, I didn't know this or that, I don't know what he necessarily meant by that, but he was indicating to Daryl, I wasn't involved with any of this stuff that was going on. I didn't know what was going on here. I would have told you that they had Sasha, that they did this. That's what I'm assuming. But we see Daryl looking at that. And then we also have back at the sanctuary, Negan's just, of course, in shock that they were beaten, that all of this happened. And he looks at Eugene and he goes, I wonder how Sasha died in there. And Eugene makes up a story that, well, Sasha must have suffocated. And Negan kind of looks at it and doesn't know if it's true, but he accepts it because I think he has bigger things to worry about. So Eugene at this point covered himself, but what might happen if he has a plan, hard to say, but I'll definitely have a lot to talk about with Eugene in the future. But Negan tells his people, you know, at the sanctuary, we're going to war, this is it. And the end of the episode was really a montage of Maggie talking with a bunch of people, you know, gathered around, seeing the communities all together. Rick with Michonne and Rosita recovering and Tara watching over her. You had Maggie ending up going out in the woods with Jesus. They find Sasha as a walker, and Maggie, of course, kills her to stop her from being a walker. And at that point, you have Maggie, in a sense, giving a speech. And a lot of that just had to do with the fact that, you know, this is it. They're going to fight. But also looking back at Glenn and kind of honoring Glenn's memory, kind of seeing that Glenn was really a lot of the reasons for why the group believes what they did, that it was Glenn all along that really gave them the inspiration, that gave them hope. And also going back to the moment when, look, like Glenn saved Rick in that tank. Thinking about that moment just back in the season, the series premiere of the show, just shows how pivotal of a moment that was for him to be where he was and to be there to start this fight. So the last scene of the episode was they closed in on Hershel's watch, which of course Hershel had, and then he gave it to Glenn. But I have to say, it was honestly an amazing episode. I'm still in shock over everything I saw. I can't wait for Season 8. It's going to be a long wait. Maybe not as long as last season, because the cliffhanger was very subtle. You know the war's coming, but it's not like the lineup in Season 6. So it's a little different, but this episode, in my opinion, just really brought my spirits back up. I hope it did the same for other Walking Dead fans, because I know that Season 7 was a very rough season in many respects. It was good. I enjoyed a lot of the stories, but it did take a toll on people. It really was hard to watch at times, to see our group so defeated, but now we see they're back in it, and I hope that this really brings people back, because I think The Walking Dead is still such a great story. I can't wait to see what Season 8 is going to provide, and I think it's going to be absolutely spectacular. So with that, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank all of you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And please, because of the fact that we are going on hiatus, if you have video suggestions, I have plenty of time to do them because I don't have the episode. So if you want predictions on any particular element from the show, if you want to go back to the beginning, anything, any question, any video, anything you want me to do for The Walking Dead, let me know. I will do it. Just let me know. So don't be afraid to post down there in the comments what you want to see. I hope to have Fear the Walking Dead videos out soon. We get more information and I'm able to watch them. And again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being so supportive. I know I wasn't able to be here as much because of the fact that I got my new job and moving and all that, but I thank you all for sticking by me, for watching my videos, for being so positive, and for being so very, very nice. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. I hope to talk to you soon, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you.